Before I start my rant, I think it's important that I state I'm not a GTA fan. I've never played the older games. I've only played GTA Online and Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. I enjoy Red Dead Redemption much more than GTA. However, I think the practices Rockstar is doing is important to discuss, as they will most likely change game pricing and game manufacturing in the industry for the future. That's why even if I'm not a fan, I think it's important to talk about it. But anyway, let's get on with it. First, let's talk about the first real issue I have and the biggest elephant in the room, the price. There were already so many discussions on Sony's games on PS5 charging $70 in 2020 with games like Demon's Souls, Call of Duty, and the awful game series of 2K. I mean, why do people play that game? It fucking sucks. And I at least believe that we all agreed that the pricing was too far. I actually started playing older games by this time because I thought the price increase was just too much for me. I just couldn't buy newer games. And I just thought that the price is just super egregious. And GTA is increasing the price of the standard version of the game to $80 and the deluxe to $100. I think this is the worst news a consumer like you and me could get. If GTA is successful, just like how most of the $70 implementations were in 2020, we'll start to get even more games becoming more and more expensive, and soon we will see in a couple years standard games priced at $100. By giving our money to Rockstar, we are basically saying, yes, charge me more. I want to spend more and more and more for less. And that less I will get into later. Don't worry, I'll get into why I think it's less. And I don't think it's fair that more and more AAA, not anymore, games are making it hard for working class people like me and you to play them. I haven't paid for a new AAA game in the last 5 years. I think I've already said that before, but yeah, it's been that long, ever since they started increasing the price. Because why purchase something that eats your paycheck when you can find loads of good games in the past that are good and that are still valuable, and they're on sale. For instance, Xbox I think has a sale going on right now, where both Red Dead Redemption 1 and Red Dead Redemption 2 bundle is $40, which is basically half of the standard version of GTA 6, which you get two amazing games for that price, which is half of GTA 6. Another couple games you can get for cheap that will give you enjoyment without taking $80 is Alan Wake, a phenomenal horror survival game for only $1.24. I mean, why would you spend $80 when you already have games that exist that are enjoyable, that are super cheap? And another one is Monster Hunter World, which is about $8, and as well as Rainbow Six Siege. JK, that game's garbage. Don't buy that game. No one should play Rainbow Six Siege. That game sucks. I mean, if you want a game that still gives you a modern enough open world with gripping story or lots of stuff to do, that is Cyberpunk 2077. I know when it came out on launch, it wasn't really good and there was a bunch of fucking bugs, but it's still better than spending $80 because it's improved. There's been so many updates and changes that it's improved, which is still not an excuse. It really should have just been good at the get-go, but it's still great, and it's better than spending again $80. I think that's really a bad financial decision to buy an $80 game. And yeah, these might all be old games, but they're still fun. It doesn't, just because something's new doesn't mean that it's better than an older experience, Another problem with the price is GTA Online, which I'm gonna get into. They are obviously gonna make an online mode in a couple months, just like GTA 5 and Red Dead Redemption 2, which will probably give them billions, just like how GTA 5 Online already makes $1 million a day, based on this Kotaku article. And what I'm trying to say with this is, if you're making me pay for a game that's $80 to make up for the budget, why are you also going to create an online mode which will make that budget up too? Like, why not just have the price at 60 and then you can also get a lot of your money back by having the online mode? It just doesn't make sense to me. I think what I'm trying to say is, in the modern gaming climate, with thousands of great story games on Xbox and on other platforms, no game is worth $80 goddamn dollars when you can just find a good, enjoyable experience for cheaper. I mean, I've already said this many times, but I think this is really important, because a lot of people think that just because something is new, they have to have this sense of FOMO where they have to buy it. But it's like, no, you don't. I know that GTA 6 is this like new thing, and it's like, oh, it's Rockstar's GTA 6. We've been waiting for this for like 13 or longer years. We really want this. We want to play it. It's like, yes, but kind of slow your roll here. Are you really telling me that you're fine with paying $80 for just a standard version? Like, are we really going to sell our soul for this? Is this really worth selling our soul? I feel like this is the most important question. Is it really good for us to say, yeah, I'm going to pay $100 just for like the deluxe edition? Like, even with the collector's editions that started coming out like in I think the 90s and the 2000s, even then, more so the 2000s, even then, to me that was crazy. And I think this is still crazy, charging so much. But anyway, other than that, there's some other stuff I want to talk about, and which another problem, which I think is really important, is the contents, because I just really don't understand why they are locking this behind the deluxe edition. I know it's just to get more money and everything, but like, it's kind of fucked up. It's kind of rude. Like, people have been waiting so long for this experience, and then you come out and you're like, yeah, we're gonna hide a bunch of like customization options behind this stupid $20 more dollars. And when I first heard that, I was like, that's pretty shitty. People have been waiting all this long, and you're like, yeah, you're not gonna get the full experience if you pay the $80. You have to pay the goddamn $100 to enjoy this. I'm like, fuck off. That's just stupid. I feel like that's stupid, and I don't even think it's really worth it to buy, because they're not gonna like lock away all customization options with your cars and your clothing and your guns in like the deluxe edition, right? Like, there's still gonna be that stuff in the standard edition. So like, why buy the deluxe edition? It just seems like it's taking more of your money and just giving you some options for stuff, when the standard edition is probably going to give you a pretty good amount of clothing options. So I just don't think it's really worth it. I mean, that's really all I want to say. I think that it being locked away is just kind of a dick move. Even also with the fact that, things are becoming more and more expensive, are you really going to risk it and be like, yeah, even though people are having harder times getting employment, getting jobs, or, having jobs that pay a good amount, you're still going to have to make the consumer spend more money for your game? I just think it's rude, and it's not good for most consumers and most people, The last problem I have with this game that I think is really important, really, for the stage where we're at in the gaming industry. I think it's the fact that it's only digital. That's the thing that I think screws over a lot of people, because you're telling me I'm gonna spend $80 to $100. I know I keep on talking about the price, but the price is really, really fucking important. You're telling me I'm gonna spend $80 to $100 for a game that I don't even own. I can only get the digital version, and if I'm playing the digital version and I have it uninstalled and the power goes out, or there's no electricity, or there's no internet, that means I cannot play it. I do not own it. I do not have control of it. Because if you have a physical disc, You always have the ability to use that disc whenever you want. But if you have it digitally, you don't really own it. You know? It's like you don't actually own it. And I feel like it's just, and the fact that you can buy, I think you can actually buy hard copies, but it'll just have a fucking code. I also think that's kind of rude. You're basically saying, haha, you don't actually own this. It's like a fucking catfish. I just don't see why people should encourage this, because it's basically completely anti-consumer practices, you know? And it's supposed to be a platinum game, yet it seems like it's like not platinum whatsoever. No, it should be upsetting everyone. And what's up with pre-ordering then? If there's no actual hard disk, there's no manufacturing cost because, you know, there's no actual disk. Yeah, maybe this like the DVD case takes manufacturing. But again, if there's no actual physical supply, why pre-order then? Because you're never going to actually be unable to access the game at launch because it's always going to be online. You can always just purchase it online. Yeah, it adds like new clothing, 80s clothing style options, but really? You're telling me you're going to pre-order a game which we have no gameplay for? You're going to pre-order a game with no gameplay, and you're going to do that just because there's just some extra options? Like, you don't, like, remember, this is just like Cyberpunk. I know I said Cyberpunk's a good game, it got better, but you're telling me that after Cyberpunk, you're going to pre-order a game that you've never watched, you've never seen any gameplay for. You're going to pre-order it, and you're going to open it up, and you're going to put it in, and you're going to be fine with the fact that it might be buggy and crappy and not optimized well, because that's, I'm sorry, but that's stupid. I have no real argument. Like, fine, do what you want, but like, what if it's bad? You have no idea that it's good or not. What if it's a bad game? What if it crashes? What if the story just isn't as good as like GTA 5 or Red Dead Redemption 1 or Red Dead Redemption 2, you know? How can you know that it's gonna be good? I just don't get it. You know, and I feel like it's all of these show that Rockstar just hates people. They just hate the average citizen, the average consumer. You know, and what's awful about all these problems is that most people just don't care. You guys that are watching this video probably don't care at all about what I'm saying. And they won't care when the price goes from 80 to 100 to 200 and then $300 a game, you know? I know that's a little crazy, but is it? You know, if we already went in 2020 from 60 to 70, and now in 2026 we're 70 to 80 and 100 for the deluxe edition, who knows in the future if the standard edition is just going to go to $100. You know, by accepting the high pricing and digitalization of games, we accept that we should pay premium price for a game we don't even know. I'm very disappointed in Rockstar. I know that they used to create products that respected people in their time, but ever since the GTA trilogy, oh god, I remember. Hopefully you guys also remember the GTA trilogy release, because oh god, it was bad. It was awful. I played it when it came out on like Xbox Game Pass. Awful, horrendous. One of the worst fucking games I've ever played in my entire life. The quality was just bad. It wasn't optimized. There were bugs up the wazoo. Just bad. And they've been falling down in quality since then. And I feel like they've been also falling down in like respect for their fan base. I mean, what is your guys' thoughts on GTA 6? Is it actually okay to not own your game and pay a high price and I'm in the wrong? Or do you guys agree with me? Let me know in the comments, and make sure you like and subscribe, I guess. Or maybe don't. I don't care. Bye.